Welcome to today's video. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about discipline. Discipline, discipline, discipline. It's easily the backbone of all success. Without discipline, it doesn't matter how badly you say you want to achieve a goal. It's just not going to happen. There's no way that you can get to a goal without discipline because it's never going to be enjoyable. Like not very enjoyable. It's going to be very difficult usually. So if you don't have discipline, you're not going to get there. So let's go through that process now. Discipline, like I said, is basically the backbone and makes everything we talk about possible. Without it, nothing you want will ever be achieved. With it, it's pretty much a matter of time before you achieve it. It's a sure thing. The key to unbreakable discipline is to know how to set goals and put them into actionable plans. Basically, you need a direction to channel that discipline. Having goals is not enough. A lot of people say they want to make more money. How much money? A lot of people say they want to lose weight. How much weight? And the reason they do this is because they're afraid to fail. However, if you set the goal right, the chances of you achieving them are extremely high. With that said, with that said, you must also understand that using discipline for your goals will require sacrifice. You can't have it all, at least not all at once. Consider sacrifice as fuel to keep your fire burning. And the more you sacrifice, the more that you're going to achieve that goal, the more your chances of achieving that goal. For example, do you have a TV? Are you willing to throw it in the dumpster right now? But you're probably saying, it cost me $500. But really, no, it's costing you your future. Are you willing to stop playing video games? That's how I unwind. No amount of video games will ever be enough to make you feel better about your failures. It's an imaginary world you use to escape the one you hate, which is the real one. I know because that was me. I used to do that. I've played thousands of hours of video games. My father knew when I was younger, my father knew a guy who worked at the PlayStation Network. This is not an exaggeration. I got 20 to 30 games a week. I had an entire bedroom full of video games, PlayStation games. So I know the addiction to video games, and I strongly recommend you stop. You're running, you're depressed, and you don't even realize it. You have to stop. You can't be disciplined at too many things and expect them to work great at any of them and expect to be great at any of them. Focus on the levers that make the biggest difference. You can't do everything. People say, oh, it depends. It does not depend. It's either you're going to do what works the majority of the time or you're not. So, a lot of you guys, for example, are trying to get good at things that don't matter, like good at filing your taxes. I don't know. Some people like find pride in doing it. But why? You could just focus on making more money to be able to pay the tax professional to do it for you so that you don't have to do it yourself. And then you can use that time to make more money instead of trying to learn such a not useless, I'm not going to say it's a useless skill, taxes specifically, but it's not a very high yielding skill to have. Sacrifice what you want now or what you want most will become the sacrifice. Just do it for 6 months, and if you love your vices still, you can go back to ruining your life. But I recommend you don't. Don't sacrifice your faith, family, health, or core values and core relationships. Those are things you don't sacrifice. Everything else you pretty much sacrifice. Your leisurely time you can sacrifice. Useless time spent with family and friends you could sacrifice. Not useless time. That's the key. Can't just be like you're sitting around with your brother just sitting there. That's a waste of time. You should sacrifice that. Discipline comes with repetition. Your discipline will be formed with repetition. Nothing you do one or two times will ever be done well. It's when you do it 50, 100, 400, even 1,000 times that you start to become a master at it. At that point, people pay you good money, people value your opinions, etc. Sadly, there is no shortcut per se. In either case, you have to put in the work and you cannot avoid it. With your daily habits, you must understand that it's going to take time and you'll have to course correct every week, sometimes even daily. It's not going to be a straight line progress. Some days you'll do well, some days you want to crawl in a hole and die. But on a monthly basis, you should be making linear progress. So, for example, if your goal is to like lose, let's say, 30 pounds in 30 weeks, week one, you might lose a pound. Week two, you might gain a pound. Week three, you might lose two. Week four, you might lose two. It's never going to be linear, but on a monthly basis, you should be seeing progress. If not, then you're doing something wrong. A great tip that helps me is to tell myself, I said I was going to do it, now I have to. Whether it's good or bad, build the habit of always doing what you said you're going to do, even when the feeling you said it in is gone. This will teach you to watch your words. It will teach others that you're reliable. It will teach idiots in your life not to mess with you. It will make women fawn over you. And it will teach your inner man to trust himself, which is self confidence. Discipline coupled with wisdom is gold. I cannot stress this enough. Remember this, you won't live long enough to make all the mistakes, so learn from those who've already made them. Don't consider yourself so unique. You're not. Don't say I'm not a reader. I'm a night owl. I'm the type of person who enters stupidity. Most successful people read, wake up early, and while they keep their core convictions, they are always willing to change their minds and methods to get better results. I'm not saying just do some shady, OnlyFans maintenance program or something like these guys do. Like they'll literally maintain a bunch of OnlyFans models, which are basically internet prostitutes, and that's disgusting. They'll maintain their accounts, and then obviously they'll give them the cut, and that's like a business that has been successful for a lot of people who went in that realm. But it isn't. It's not. It's a slimy business. That's not what you want to get into. So don't change your core convictions just to make some money. You can make money doing other things. It's not like you have to do that. Adjust to what you adjust to what will give you the best results with the most track record first. That way, you put yourself in the best position to succeed. So do what has worked for the majority of people, and then once you get there, you can make some small adjustments. But don't think that you're gonna carve out this new roadmap. That's not. No one is doing that. And if anyone does do it, it's a statistically insignificant amount, and it's not worth trying to go down that route. Trying to create roads in the desert, basically. Why, if you have roads on the streets, just use those to get to your destination. Don't make it harder than it has to be. And then as you become more successful, you can make it more unique. But you don't have to start doing that. In fact, you're very likely not going to succeed if you do that. If you like try to make it hard or try to be unique. This is why rich people get richer and poor people stay poor, as it should be. Rich, ripped, well connected people think and act very differently than poor, fat, friendless people. That's why they're rich, ripped, and well connected, because they do things and think differently than the people who are not. It's not a very complicated thing. The reason why it's complicated nowadays for most people is because it's all based on emotion, not on fact. For example, we all know a fat friend who thinks they know a lot about healthy living, but in reality, it's just their emotions talking. Like, oh, I buy only organic food. I don't buy store bought traditional foods that has a bunch of antibiotics in it. Like, but really, they're just obese. And the reality is, being obese is 95% of your health anyway. People like to say it's not. I've trained over 1,000 people at this point. I know exactly what I'm doing when it comes to health and fitness. I'm telling you, being obese is 100 times worse than using a microwave. Being obese is 100 times worse or 1,000 times worse than using MSG in your food. All these things are stupid, and it's usually the fat people that try to use those metrics to try to make themselves seem more healthy than they really are. And that's just one area of life. The same thing goes for people who use debt. And, I'm strongly against debt. It has done nothing but ruin my life. And once I stopped using it, maybe 8 years ago or 7 years ago, I've had nothing but success. It's like incredible because the risk is so low when you have no debt. And it's like that, like I said, because people, for example, borrow a bunch of money to look rich, and then when things hit the fan, they always do, they end up going right back to their failing ways, and they end up having to move back in with their parents, or like try to get some kind of government assistance to try to offset their debt. They're gonna either declare bankruptcy. It's like so many stupid things that could have been avoided if you just save some money. In either case, guys, that's discipline. That's how you form discipline. Discipline is very important when it comes to reaching your goals, like I said earlier. And the only way you're going to get there is if you commit to establishing a daily routine that's going to get you the results that you want, like I said in the purpose video. And if you found this video helpful and you'd like to give your 2 cents, drop it in the community section in the group or DM me. Other than that, see you guys in the next one.